We're on day 2 of our French boating adventure with Locaboat, and the weather sadly is a bit cloudier than it was yesterday. I think we have to admit in northern France that the weather's never going to be like it is on the Midi or anything like that, but it's really quite pleasant out there. We had the central heating on overnight or during the evening, so we were nice and warm. But mid-April daytime temperatures seemed very reasonable. One of the things I've been thinking as we've been going along is how nice it is to have canals that are a sensible size. In England, all our canals are built on a 7-foot wide format, so to get through them you have to have our narrow boats, which are just 6'10" mostly. Here in France there was a very smart geezer called Mr. Freycinet who decided that the gauge for all canals should be around 15 metres long by 5 metres wide, with a draft of about 1.8 metres. And that meant that instead of our little barges which carry, I don't know, 20 or 30 tons, French penichettes carry 300 tons, which almost still keeps them, well, I guess you could say competitive, but in fact they've more or less gone out of business now on waterways like this. But there are still some 300-ton penichettes running around on the rest of the canals. Certainly 300 tons isn't as economic as it used to be, and on the northern industrial canals, which we're close to but not on, there are barges of 1,000 tons, 1,300 tons, running regular trips with all kinds of cargoes, but obviously mostly bulks, so petrol and things like that go on barges. Off on both sides of me now we've got the hortillonnage, which are gardens with obviously plenty of access to water, and the gardens are actually on the old river plain, the flood plain, so the soil is very fertile. There are 2 or 3 areas in France where you find this kind of thing. Around St. Omer is another, but this is very pretty, and as you can see quite a lot of the areas are well kept. You can also take a boat ride on the tiny canals around there, although we missed the boat when we tried to take the trip. Time to tie up now for the break. Here's how we do it. We take a little stroll up the deck because I decided that I didn't leave my rope in the right place. What a prune! But we'll move it down to nearer the middle of the boat so that we can get at it conveniently when I come alongside. There it is, just there, and that'll do nicely. And the rope is actually outside of everything, so I don't have to worry about it getting caught in the rails. We just put the boat back in gear and we let the boat just drift towards it. A little bit of a stern, lever out of gear, and the boat's perfectly fine on her own. She's not going to come to any harm. And the fenders pick up the strain, my rope. Anyone can make a mistake, Jim. Let's get that rope off there. And I just want to make the boat fast by the bow rope. And it doesn't matter what happens to the back of the boat because there's no other boats in easy sight. Even with the boat out of gear, the stern is not going to come in, so we'll put it in ahead the boat goes into a head. The wheel is set over so that the stern is going to pull itself in. The boat will come alongside the quay, and the propeller and the rudder combined brings the stern in nicely so that she's right alongside, and she's just hanging, if you like, on the one rope or pulling against the one rope. That rope is quite taut, and that means that the stern of the boat is in against the quayside, and I don't have to worry about that. We'll just make the bow rope nice and tight, and then we can have some lunch. What a nice idea. And as ever with any aspect of boat handling, don't strain yourself, because this boat weighs several tons and you can't actually pull it as such. All you can do is start it moving against the rope, and as you do that, the boat will move gently to where you want it to be. Very straightforward, very simple. It's not quite the appliance of science, but it's pretty close to it. It's the appliance maybe of a bit of common sense.